Hello everyone, my name is Cherie. In this video, I'll be sharing with you what I watched in the month of August. Starting with the series, The Haunting of Hill House from 2018 and Midnight Mass from 2021. Both are Netflix horror series created by Mike Flanagan. Hill House is loosely based on Shirley Jackson's 1959 novel and is about a family of 7 who move into a Gothic mansion in order to fix and flip it, but things don't go as planned. Midnight Mass centers on an impoverished island community that experiences supernatural events after the arrival of a mysterious priest. This was my second time watching both of these series, and they are both excellent. I watched one documentary, Michael Moore's 2009 Capitalism, A Love Story. I liked it, but it was kind of all over the place. Springboarding off the Great Recession, the film's topics include home foreclosures, Wall Street's casino mentality, Goldman Sachs' influence in DC, corporate-owned life insurance, for-profit prisons, poverty wages, and whether religious leaders define capitalism as a sin or not. I feel like this should have been a series. Now, on to the narrative features. 9 to 5 from 1980. The film stars Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton as co-workers who live out their fantasies of getting even with the boss, a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. Dolly Parton wrote and sang the title song, which was nominated for an Oscar. The movie is kind of a cute time capsule of the 80s. I remember really loving it when it came out. Upon rewatch, I think it's just fine. When it was released in 2022, Amsterdam was heavily panned. But this was my second watch, so I didn't hate it. The story is based on an actual unsuccessful plot to overthrow the US government in 1933. David O. Russell wrote and directed this murder mystery / comedy / political thriller. The all-star cast includes Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon, Taylor Swift, Rami Malek, and Robert De Niro. So if you're a fan of any of the aforementioned, you might enjoy Amsterdam. The Autopsy of Jane Doe, a supernatural horror, came out in 2016. It's about father and son coroners who are pulled into a complex mystery while attempting to identify the body of a young woman. This was the first of 3 films I watched in August, directed by Norwegian filmmaker Andre Øvredal. I really enjoyed the setup, but as the movie progressed, I found some of the character beats missing. Just a handful more reaction shots or sitting with certain characters and their emotions would have made this a stellar film. I finally caught 2022's Babylon, and I have mixed feelings. It's about ambition and excess in early Hollywood when movies transitioned from silent to sound. Writer-director Damien Chazelle did his homework, packing lots of Hollywood lore into the storyline. At 3 hours, it's a little too long. There's lots of bodily emissions, which I hate watching, so I think I would have enjoyed it more without those bits. The acting was great though, as was the cinematography and soundtrack. If you're a Hollywood film buff, then see it. So now I've seen Barbie not once, not twice, but 3 times in the theater. I don't think I've done that since Moulin Rouge. Barbie has already broken $1 billion at the worldwide box office and will be available on streaming September 5th. It's my favorite film of 2023 so far. I think it's near perfect. However, it won't be on my favorite slide at the end because it was already on my favorite slide for July, and I'm not doing repeats. Next, I did a Batman double feature, The Batman from 2022 and The Lego Batman Movie from 2017. The Riddler is Batman's antagonist in the live-action film, and the Joker is Batman's antagonist in the animation. Both movies are great. This was actually my 3rd time watching Lego Batman. Robert Pattinson was perfect in the live-action reboot, as was Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Can't wait for the sequel. Before I Wake from 2018 is a solid horror from Mike Flanagan, who co-wrote the script with Jeff Howard. The story follows an orphan whose dreams and nightmares manifest physically as he sleeps. Great acting by Jacob Tremblay as the child. If you're a Flanagan fan, you should give it a watch. The Big Short from 2015 is based on the true story of 4 outsiders who predicted the economy's global collapse. I read the screenplay the day before I rewatched the film. There were some changes, such as Margot Robbie replacing Scarlett Johansson, Selena Gomez replacing Beyoncé. Brad Pitt's character was expanded to give him some doomsday quirks. In the script, he warns about global warming. In the movie, he advises to have a garden with organic seeds. I have to say the script changes were both good and bad, but I preferred the script over the movie. I was just very depressed when the movie ended. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, released in August, follows the merchant ship as it travels from Transylvania to London. This is Andre Overdal's latest. The story is based on The Captain's Log, which is the 7th chapter in the classic vampire novel Dracula. I really wanted to love this film. However, it was just kind of boring. Another YouTuber mentioned it consists mostly of medium shots and close-ups, and I was thinking about this as I watched it. More shot variety would have broken the monotony. The script and pacing were issues as well. Not recommended. I checked out Megan, the unrated edition from the library. There's more gore and more swearing, but teens can still watch it. This is a great gateway horror film. It was already on my favorites list from January, so it won't be on my end slide this month, but I still love it. Oculus from 2013 is a great horror film from director Mike Flanagan, who co-wrote the script with Jeff Howard. It's about a woman trying to prove that the crime her brother was blamed for was actually committed by a supernatural entity that inhabits a cursed mirror. Karen Gillan, who you might know as Ruby Roundhouse from the Jumanji films, stars. I love this movie and highly recommend it. Another double feature, Ouija from 2014 and Ouija Origin of Evil from 2016. In the original, a group of friends awaken the dark powers of an ancient spirit board. In the sequel, which is really a prequel, a widowed mother and her daughters add a possessed spirit board to their seance scam business. This is one of those rare cases where the second film is better than the first. I actually really love Origin of Evil, which was again written by Mike Flanagan and Jeff Howard. Playtime from 1967 is one I didn't get to in July during French American Heritage Month. This stars writer-director Jacques Tati as Monsieur Hulot as he wanders around a high-tech Paris, paralleling a trip with a group of American tourists. I'd heard a lot of great things about this film, but was pretty bored until the ending restaurant set piece, which was amusing. Salt of the Earth was produced by the International Union of Mine, Mill, and Smelter Workers in 1954. It's based on the true story of Mexican workers at a zinc mine who went on strike in order to earn the same wages as Anglo workers and to be treated with dignity. The film starts off with extremely heavy-handed, preachy dialogue. Even though I agreed with all its ideas, I felt like I was watching a North Korean propaganda film, like the one I saw in May, because of the way it was executed. But eventually I got into the story and really ended up loving it. Whenever the term strong female character is used now, I will think of the lead protagonist. What a great role. Salt of the Earth is in the National Film Registry. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was released in 2019. Set in the late 60s, the film follows a group of kids who find a sinister storybook inside a haunted house. Like Megan, this would be a good gateway horror film as well. Of the 3 Andre Overdal films I watched in August, this was my favorite. Silent Hill from 2006 follows a woman searching for her adopted daughter who went missing after a car crash just outside the town of Silent Hill. This is based on a video game. I'd never played it, but I'd heard that this film was a good adaptation. While watching it, however, I wasn't really vibing with it. It's fine. I'm gonna kind of spoil the ending for this one, so fast forward a minute or so if you care. Smile from 2022 follows a psychiatrist who believes a smiling entity is out to kill her. The movie felt a lot like It Follows, with an evil curse being passed on from person to person. I did not like the ending. I felt like the psychiatrist should have sacrificed herself while she was alone, which would have killed the entity since no witness would have been around to receive it. But that's not how it ended. Oh well. Turning Red, released in 2022, follows a Chinese-Canadian girl as she enters adolescence. The metaphor was kind of muddled, and it didn't really work for me. I thought the film was cute, but I wouldn't call it one of Pixar's best. White House Down exploded onto screens in 2013. While on a tour of the White House with his young daughter, a Capitol policeman springs into action to save his child and protect the president from a heavily armed group of paramilitary invaders. I've seen bad reviews for this one, and I'm not really sure why. It's my second time watching, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, regardless of how over the top some of the stunts are. It stars Channing Tatum, so I'm probably going to watch it again, and again, and again. And that was it. In summary, I watched 2 series and 23 films in August of 2023. 12 movies were new to me, and 11 movies and both series were rewatches. I heart these ones the most. Thank you for joining me for my August wrap-up. September is Hispanic Heritage Month, and I have 30 movies on my to-be-watched list. Until next time, happy viewing.